You checked their work again. You told yourself it was the last time. It wasn't. You rewrote the email they already sent. You redid the slide they already finished. You stayed 40 minutes late because you couldn't leave until it was right. And somewhere, underneath the tired, a small voice said, "Maybe I'm the problem." Here's what I want you to sit with for the next 20 minutes. That voice is wrong. Not because you don't have a flaw, you do, everyone does. But control freak is the lazy word people use for something much older, much smarter, and much more painful than a personality quirk. Today, we're not going to fix your micromanaging. We're going to find out what it's protecting. Somebody called you a control freak, maybe a coworker, maybe your partner. Maybe it was just a thought you had about yourself at 2 a.m. That word does one job. It makes the story simple. You're difficult, you're uptight, you need to relax. Simple stories are comfortable, they just aren't true. Here's the more honest version. You walked into a room. You saw 10 ways it could go wrong. Everyone else saw one. So you did the math nobody else bothered to do, and then you got blamed for doing it out loud. That's not dysfunction. That's pattern recognition running at full speed with nobody else in the room to share the load. But, and this matters, pattern recognition that never turns off isn't a gift anymore. It's a job you never clocked out of. And that's the part we need to look at. Nobody builds this trait in a boardroom. It starts earlier, much earlier. Maybe you grew up in a house where things fell apart if you didn't catch them first. A parent who forgot things, money that ran out, a sibling who needed watching. Or maybe it was quieter than that. A house where mistakes were met with silence, or worse, with disappointment that lasted for days. So a kid learned something. If I stay one step ahead, nothing bad happens. That kid grew up, the house changed, the habit didn't. Now, you're in an office, and your nervous system doesn't know the difference between "this deck has a typo" and "the roof is about to cave in." To your body, both feel like danger. Both get the same alarm. That's the part nobody tells you about perfectionism. It was never about high standards. It was about survival. And survival habits don't retire just because the threat is gone. Let's make this simple, because the science behind it usually isn't. Deep in your brain sits a small alarm system. Its only job is to ask one question, over and over: is this safe? For most people, that alarm goes quiet once the day feels stable. For you, it doesn't fully shut off. It's tuned a little too high, watching for the 10% chance instead of the 90% sure thing. So when a teammate turns in something good enough, your alarm doesn't hear good enough. It hears unfinished threat. And your body responds the way it would to any threat. It tightens, it fixates, it takes over. You're not being difficult on purpose. You're being guarded. There's a difference, and almost nobody in your life has ever pointed it out. Now here's the part this channel doesn't skip, because the tools only work if we're honest first. Guarded isn't free. It costs you. It costs you your evenings because you can't stop checking. It costs you your team's trust because people stop bringing you their real work. They bring you the version they think will survive your edits. It costs you the exact thing you're afraid of losing: control. Because the more you grip, the more people quietly step back, and the more it really does all fall on you. That's the trap. The behavior built to protect you from chaos slowly creates the exact chaos it feared. You become the bottleneck. You become the reason things move slower, not faster. And the cruelest part? You already know this. You've felt it. That heavy, lonely feeling of being the only one who really cares about the work. That's not proof you're right. That's the cost showing up on the bill. Here's where we go somewhere most self-help videos won't. This channel is about the shadow self, the part of you that runs the show from underneath. The part you don't look at directly because it's uncomfortable. So, let's look at yours. It's not, I need things done right. That's the story on the surface. Underneath it is something raw. If I'm not the one holding this together, I might find out I'm not needed. Or worse, I might find out I'm not enough. And this time, no one will catch it before everyone sees. Micromanaging isn't about the spreadsheet. It's a shield against a much scarier feeling, helplessness. The feeling of watching something you care about and not being able to stop it from breaking. You'd rather carry all the weight than feel that helpless one more time. That's not weakness. That's an old, exhausted kind of courage. But it's aimed at the wrong target now. The danger isn't in the room anymore. Your body just hasn't gotten the memo. So, what do you do with a shadow like that? You don't fight it. Fighting it is what got you here. You name it. There's a strange, almost boring truth about the brain. A feeling you can name loses about half its grip on you. Psychologists call it affect labeling. You don't need the term, you just need the habit. Next time you feel the urge to rewrite someone's work at 9 p.m., stop for 1 second. Ask yourself, out loud if you can, what am I actually afraid will happen if I leave this alone? Not, is it good enough? That question has no bottom. Ask what you're afraid of. 9 times out of 10, the honest answer isn't about the work. It's about being blamed, being seen as careless, being replaceable, or the opposite, being irreplaceable and crushed by it. Once you can say the fear out loud, you've taken it out of the shadow, and things in the light are always smaller than things in the dark. I'm not going to tell you to just relax or learn to trust people. You've heard that. It didn't work because it skips the fear underneath. Here's what actually works, one step at a time. Tool 1, the 10% rule. Pick one small task this week, something low stakes. Hand it off completely and don't check it for 24 hours. Not because it doesn't matter, because your nervous system needs proof, not advice, that the world survives without your eyes on everything. This is exposure therapy for control. A small dose, real proof. Tool 2, the 2-question filter. Before you touch someone else's work again, ask 2 questions. Is this actually wrong? Or is it just not how I would have done it? Those are different problems. One needs a fix, the other needs you to let go. Most micromanaging lives in that second category, and most of the exhaustion does too. Tool 3. Name the fear before the meeting. Before you walk into any situation where you feel the grip start, say the fear to yourself first, not the task, the fear. I'm afraid this will make me look careless. I'm afraid I'll get blamed. Say it, then walk in anyway. You're not getting rid of the fear. You're just refusing to let it drive without you noticing. None of this is therapy, and it's not pretending to be. If this pattern runs deep, if it's costing you sleep, relationships, or your sense of self, a good therapist can go further than any video ever will. This is a start, not a finish line. Let's say the core thing one more time, because it's the one thing worth remembering after this video ends. You are not a control freak. You are someone who learned a long time ago that watching closely kept things from falling apart. That instinct made sense once. It made you sharp. It probably made you good at your job, but the shadow doesn't ask permission to overstay its welcome. What protected you at 8 years old is quietly running your calendar at 38. And the fix isn't to become careless. It's to take the fear out of the dark, look at it, and decide, on purpose, with open eyes, how much control you actually need to hand back. Not because you're wrong for wanting it, because you're tired of being the only one holding on. So here's a question, and I actually want you to answer it in the comments, not just think it. What's the smallest thing you could let go of this week? The one task you could hand off and not check? Write it down, then do it. Then tell me how it went. And if this video names something you've never had language for, there's another one waiting for you. on the part of the shadow self that hides behind people-pleasing, and why saying yes to everyone is its own kind of control. Hit subscribe if you want to keep pulling back the curtain. Same time next week, we'll go a little deeper.